Hey everyone, how's it going? AZREN here. Hope you guys are doing well. In this video here, I want to talk about how many hours a week you should be studying when you are learning a new language. Now, first and foremost, you need to understand that the answer to this question is going to be different for every single individual because every single individual has a different life circumstance. However, what I want to share today are, first and foremost, things that have worked well for me, and by extension, things that I've seen work for the majority of people that I have come across. The biggest perspective, or the biggest thing you need to keep your mind on when you are thinking about this question is what level you are currently at. Because I believe that you need to be studying a different amount of time when you're beginner, when you're intermediate, when you're advanced. So as a beginner, I think you need to be taking it as easy as possible. Don't study too much. Keep it, keep it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a week. The reason I say that is because when you're a beginner, that is the hardest part of actually learning a language. It is the most mentally exhausting part. And if you are trying to do too much, for most people, if you're trying to do too much as a beginner, it's going to burn you out. You're going to do it for a few months and you'll quit because you'll say, oh, this is too hard, my brain is tired, I'm not enjoying this. And so in the beginning, keep it nice and light and do a little bit every single week, but do it consistently. Now, what's gonna happen? If you do this, probably within, I would say, 2 to 4 years, you will hit roughly like a low intermediate to a mid intermediate level. And this is the point where you need to switch things up. This is where I think it makes sense to really double down and start increasing the amount of time you're doing. So maybe before you were doing 4 hours a week, I think now it makes sense to really double down and go 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours a week. The reason I say this is because as an intermediate, you can actually study in a lot of different ways. For example, you can watch movies now, right? You can watch movies and probably understand a good portion of what people are saying. Probably not everything, but at least some, and especially if you have some subtitles, boy, that's gonna help, and you can actually enjoy movies. You can listen to music and actually understand the majority or at least portions of what's happening in the song. You can actually do language exchanges. Why? Because as an intermediate speaker, you can actually carry a conversation. And when you're a beginner, these are not options for you. Yes, you could listen to music, but it's pretty hopeless. You're not gonna understand very much. Yes, you could watch movies, but again, what are you really gonna understand? You're a beginner, you just started. And it's very hard to learn as a beginner, it's very hard to learn from things that are way above your level. But once you're at an intermediate, the movies and stuff, yes, it's above your level, but it's not that far above your level anymore, which means you can learn from it. You can pick up new words, you can pick up accents, you can pick up so many different things. And I think as intermediate speakers, this is why it makes sense to double down, because it's actually not overly difficult to double down. To listen to music in your car is not really that challenging, or to watch some movies is actually probably pretty enjoyable. And so this is a time I really need to double down. The big mistake people make, in my opinion, is they double down, or maybe they work harder and they're an intermediate speaker, but they think that it's gonna be a fast process to get to be an advanced speaker. And it's just not how it works. Usually in my experience, even if you're working really hard, you're gonna spend a long time, I'd say a longer time as an intermediate than you did as a beginner. It's just the nature of the step. There's a lot to do before you can become advanced. When you hit the advanced stage, I think you have basically two pathways you can choose from. Option one, you could say, yeah, I'm a C1, I'm a C2, I'm super good. Well, I'm just gonna study very, very little just to maintain my level. Because once you're advanced, it doesn't take a lot just to keep your level where it's at. It's actually relatively simple. The other option you could go is you could actually triple down even more. You could go, hey, as an intermediate, I was studying 12, 13, 14 hours a week. I'm pushing hard now and I'm going 20, 25, or even 30 or whatever it is. I'm really pushing now. The reason you would choose to do this is if you really want to become super specialized in that language. Maybe, for example, you're very good at French, right? You're super, super good, but you want to know all the specialized terms. You want to know all the doctor-related terms. You want to know every single part of the car. You want to know every single item in a house. You want to know every little detail about, most subjects. And that, my friends, takes a lot of time and effort. As a matter of fact, even native speakers oftentimes don't have that sort of vocabulary because maybe they're not educated in that specific subject matter. And so depending on the pathway you want to go, I've seen people go both pathways. Often the ones who are going the super hard study pathway, they're doing like a PhD in university, like they're actually specifying in some sort of topic, and by nature that forces them to, well, not forces them, but it encourages them, or it puts them in an environment that encourages them to really double down on the language. Yeah, I've seen people go both pathways, but that's sort of the options you have as an advanced speaker. So anyway, hope you guys found that useful, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye for now.